You might agree with me that African prints and fabric are finally taking their place in the fashion and design market. Prints like Ankara, Kente, and yes, the Lubugo are some of the fabrics that are making mind-blowing designs. My name is Bettina. Welcome to the NTV STYLE Project. Welcome to the show. My name is Bettina, and tonight we discuss everything African print, and to do that with me is my dapper fashionista co-host Ramashafik Izito. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, and welcome back to the show.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be back.
All right.
Of course, and joining us is Ras Kasozi of Kaswear, a Ugandan designer who is using African fabric largely to create fashion here in Uganda and internationally. Welcome to the show, Ras.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here again.
How is fashion going for you?
I think for me it's challenging, but I like it because I love to experience new stuff.
Okay.
Real Rasta.
Yeah. So guys, we are discussing African fabric. All right, but before we get into it, we all know there is African fabric and there is the Western fabric. Russ, what would drive you to choose African fabric over Western fabric?
I'm exposed to these fabrics.
Okay.
So the exposure which is within me make me choose African fabric.
Okay.
And again, I'm a proud African.
Okay.
Yeah, man, you know, back by those people never love our fashion.
I don't see any African fabric on you, though I see the jewelry. I think they should zoom in into his jewelry. I really love the pieces you're wearing.
Our viewers need to understand what African fabric means. It's not just about, because when you say African, one would think back cloth only or kitenge. But we're talking about inspiration that makes it African.
By the way, let's first highlight the ensemble you did for Queen JH, Judith Hart.
For the Independence photo shoot.
Even the one that she recently wore in Rwanda, the back cloth, the two-piece that I fell in love with. What do you look out for when choosing fabric? Why did you pick out that specific fabric?
The back cloth.
For that specific look, I work with the inspirations. So with Judith Hart, we friends. So I think it is from her she made a call, or else I'm here home bored, we need to do something. So I was inspired by her. So after telling me to do something, always my fashion comes from a story. I was there seated on the radio, someone talked about independence. So I said, oh, I need to do an independence look. To me, in myself, I say, I see the Uganda before independence. Where is it now? You get, and then imagine before the coming of the white man. You get, we would have embraced our back cloth. So that's how I chose the back cloth, because I believe back cloth is a fabric for Ugandan. So and collaborated with the right team. I worked with Tina Kaili, Walter
photography.
You get, yeah, and Walter is so much into that African identity.
Rama, tell us about African fabric or the African print.
Well,
where did this originate from? And give us a little bit history of it.
True. The narrative that I'm familiar with is 5000 BC in the Egyptian times. It is believed that civilization started from there, and these were local Egyptians that came up with different fabrics using the things that they have around them. Some use trees. No wonder we have the pyramids, and that is why if you look at the Egyptian fabric, there's that inspiration of the pyramids, that inspiration of powerful kingdoms. There is another narrative also that the white man came around. The Dutch, when they colonized Indonesia, they got fabric from Indonesia and did value addition, and then they wanted to come back to Indonesia and sell these pieces that were made from wax. But what happened is there was a rebellion in Indonesia. They said no to it, so the Dutch needed to
Find
look
market.
for more market, and that is it is believed. It is believed. I'm not very sure, but these are the history books that we are reading. It is believed that they came to Africa and focused more on Western Africa. I think that is why the adaptability is faster that side.
Now, we know different parts of Africa have a way they identify in terms of the language or the peoples or even the food. Now, when it comes to fashion, in West Africa, we do have the Ghanaians who love kente. That's from the Asante Kingdom. Mind highlighting for us any other parts of Africa and how they identify when it comes to fashion?
The Nigerians have their own kind of fabric that they adapted more than any other fabric, and they call it the asoke. And it has a similarity with the Ghanaian fabric, but I think you only tell the difference from the way they are patterned and maybe the choice of colors.
Okay. Ras, which ones stand out for you and from which country?
Like I love two basically for their originality. I love the suka and of course backcloth. Like I'm sorry I'll talk much about backcloth because I think we're in a generation where everyone has to be confident where like they're coming from.
True.
And also understanding yourself. Yeah. Buli muntu abela ali strong.
Okay.
Ye kute kunono ye. So I feel like backcloth is more important because it's still virgin. You get people haven't gone much into it. They don't know the magic. Me, if I tell you the background of the backcloth, even not mainly the backcloth, but the mutuba tree. You get mutuba tree is the mother of Uganda. Like Uganda, basically, it has a lot of purposes. It's medicinal. That's where the mother used to give birth from.
True. I was at An Island over the weekend, and I received that same story from a tour guide. We reached somewhere, and they're like, "You need to take a picture of this tree." I actually didn't know it, but he told me this is the motoba tree.
It's a tree where you can take off its back and then it comes back, other trees die.
Wow.
You get?
Wow.
So just imagine the country where farmers go to harvest textile.
Interesting, guys. I hope you guys are following on and taking your notes. Now, still talking about the different types of the African print, we also do have the kitenge. Kitenge is popularly worn by women or even men in East Africa, in Congo. Rama, which celebrity do you always feel like, oh my God, whenever he or she wears Ankara, they nail it, they look amazing?
One that stands out for me is a person that I've met before. He came around for the Aspas. He's Jidena. He's American, but of African origin. He really loves Ankara. And his story is he identifies, he feels his home. He actually does wear it in a very tasteful manner. Ras, which celebrities do you feel rock Ankara and do it the right way?
I think my credit goes to Beyonce. Like she's a real American, but she came to this stage and she got to know the reality. She's not just promoting it, but she knows I'm an African.
Absolutely.
You get, so she tries to make the world know what Africa is.
And I think that is a real black excellency.
Yes.
Not the black excellency that we know about.
You can definitely see this in Black is King. She literally worked with some of the best African creatives, be it dance, be it makeup, and outfits, as well as fabrics and outfits. There is also a backcloth inspiration in her video. She played with so many African fabrics. Now, as you all know, Ankara or African print, when it comes to Africa here, it's used in a way of communication. Now, for me, what I feel when I see Beyonce rocking Ankara, she is communicating to us that you must love your roots.
Absolutely. And we've also seen Rihanna wearing African fabric to the White House.
To the White House.
And
what was the message?
The only thing I can say is Rihanna never goes wrong when it comes to anything.
Exactly.
She knew where she was going.
She knew what she was doing.
She knew the
and
kind
she
of
knew the
attention it is going to raise,
message. I know,
and,
right?
she executed 100%.
I love her.
Yeah.
Definitely love her. Now, back here in Uganda, I would also love to highlight Sue Ochola DeRoy.
Casa de Roy.
Casa DeRoy. I think her fashion house is predominantly all about African anything. The jewelry, the fabric, everything, the decor, and even her as a person, if you ever catch her not wearing African print, I feel like that day she didn't want to go out of the house.
True.
She is always rocking African print.
Yeah, we should not forget Azawi.
Azawi, tell us about her.
Azawi, okay, I'm the designer for Azawi.
Oh,
but
okay.
Yeah, so it's from her concept.
It's all her.
Yes. So she loves to be seen as
Typical
the African baddest.
Okay.
You get
Is she a Rasta?
Of course.
I know, right?
The fact that she is working with you only shows that she knows what she's doing.
True.
You know, if it was somebody else, they would go for all the designers we are seeing. But the fact that she has come for you, that is how her creativity is on another
Absolutely.
level. As in,
I love her more now. I love her more now.
You know what I mean? The Rasis, the Azawis. So I totally understand when you say you're her designer.
Yeah, so Azawi, this person who has her, or like why I like her, she has her own identity. You get? She wears African prints, but specific prints. You get? So when we working with Azawi, we need to know what message in this print, leave alone the Chinese duplicated pieces. Yeah, she need to understand the symbols, the pattern, you get. And also,
she gives that kind of attention to detail.
Because she's a celebrity with a brand.
Okay, all right. On that note, guys, let's go in for a short breather. It's getting really hot in here. Please do not go away. Let's cool off together in the next segment. This is the NTV Style Project. Do not move. Welcome back from that quick breather. You are still watching the NTV Style Project, and tonight was all about African print. What international brands have we seen embracing African fabric? We have Virgil
Abloh.
Tell us about Virgil Abloh and his collection for
winter, January 2021.
Louis Vuitton.
He's a very cool guy. He's the creative director for Louis Vuitton, and he also has his own personal brand, Off-White, that took off. It ran. It was already a big brand in about 2 years. Well, he had a collection that was inspired by African fabric, and it really sold out in no time. And I think that was well executed from a kind of person like him.
Where was the fabric sourced?
I think West Africa.
Ras, do you know any that you feel have tried to tap into the Ankara?
I like Luth, the costume designer for Black Panther and coming to America.
Two.
Yes, the second one. So her main aim is to show, like try to advance the African fashion. So she's so much into merging the fabric into modern. So she always confuses it very well. Imagine seeing a suit made with cow shells, you get.
Amazing. But you've done that before. There was a collection that you made of Busuti or the Gomasi.
Wait, did she copy you?
I don't know. That is what I was going to say. Because you have a collection
it can be the inspiration, maybe.
I know.
Yeah. So when she's working with this movie, whatever, she tried to source the inspiration from Africa. Yes.
Talking about sourcing inspiration, Moschino, whichever way you pronounce it, guys. I think they've also picked some inspiration from the African print or the wax print and tried to incorporate it into their designs as well. And also there was also another incident where an international brand was showcasing African fabric and selling it super overpriced, and there was a war on social media
because of value addition.
Yeah.
So I don't blame them.
But the dresses were not well made. We need to show you guys the clips. It was on the runway.
The thing is, if you're telling people that they were not well made, show us the well made ones.
The well made ones is something that I'm wearing right now.
What makes everything expensive? The process. Those big brands don't buy ready made. they look at the inspiration and they print by themselves.
Also, still on that, we have the tribal print from South Africa that I really love. It is so different, so unique, so beautiful. So when it comes to African print, it's not all about kente, kitenge. There is just so much. And I think Adaya has been adopted a lot this year and last year. We've seen China chikubamu butu piece of
and they sold. Really.
And they sold. But Russ, basing on the waves in the fashion industry right now, do you see African print, African fabric, whatever it could be, kente, adaya, kikoi, lubogo, overtaking the Western fabrics, the silks of this world, the whatevers?
This is the right time because the COVID is all about being sustainable. You get? Now it's not safe to go and ship things from China. What if you bring COVID?
Exactly.
So
and
now
the expenses that come with it also.
Yeah, so we're going to promote our local textile.
It needs to start with us. There is no reason why I should import fabric from China when I can actually source it from here. But then the challenge is the quality. Like he mentioned, there's a lot of value addition that needs to do with the Ugandan lubogo that maybe we don't have the facilities here.
Not facilities.
Maybe what we need to do is...
No need, because Chinese fabrics is here.
How do you create the need?
By cutting off them. If the government says no more Chinese clothes, you get.
So you actually support that?
I do.
Buy Uganda, build Uganda.
Of course. Yes, we're going to suffer for 1 month. People be creative. We can even make those machines.
Maybe the government doesn't know what we need. You as Russ, what do you need for value addition?
Exactly.
I think the government knows, but the challenge is the businessman. I think the challenge is with that is we brainwashed most people. For example, I think why I stand out, I feel like I stand out.
You do?
Yeah, because I'm self-taught. I didn't get a chance to go to these schools, yes, that with Western influence. You get.
Understand.
So whenever people try to think of promoting their own, there is an option. For example, with fashion internationally, like she comes to me, she tells me, "Oh, I'm having this show. I need this other kind of outfit." You need to sit down, you look at her, you study her, and come up with an idea. But the Mzung try to source, to have Pinterest.
Just go to Pinterest, get an outfit.
You get. And now all the designers are too much into that. You get.
They are
because
lazy.
They are lazy about it.
Lazy.
And that's why in Uganda you don't see you don't see so much identity here. You get. What you see on someone's Pinterest is what you see on hers, what you see on hers. You get. Because we all copy from Pinterest.
Wow.
You get. It makes me funny, like to see, weddings. It's Africa, we have to wed. But how come African wedding looks like the Western wedding?
Gentlemen, before we wind up, I know our viewers must be wondering, how can we work with African print and make it, wearable, something that can always wear day to day? Starting with you, Russ, how can you make it more lovable, more accepted?
I think that the thing is we need to educate the fabric about it. What's special about African fabric is African fabric has stories. It's not like the way you see chiffon or the way you see American bridal. Each country has its history and its fabric and the originality. So when you go back into the history of the fabric, it makes you love the fabric. For example, you see how people love wale wale. You get. It's a fabric people invented it in Ethiopia, and then the queen embraced it. Then it spread everywhere. You get. When you teach people about backcloth, they get to love the story. So if we designers or media try to expose the history behind African fabric, people go into them.
Like we just did. We need to understand that fashion is highly influenced by the pop culture. So we need to see how to work with musicians, how to work with celebrities, how to work with media people to actually promote those stories out there. And also, as a designer, when you're making outfit, think outside the box. Fine, we love the kitenge, but try to add something that someone in the Western world can relate with. That way, you're actually tapping into that
Another
kind
market.
of market.
Exactly. And also, I would also love to give kudos to Wizkid. Come Closer, featuring Jack. It was amazing. They had lots of African, fabric going on in there, in the on the jeans, on the tops here and there. And also Sauti Sol have really tried to promote
in Mafeki Zolo as
Mafeki
well.
Zolo. They've tried to promote African fashion and the African heritage. That is the only way we are going to tap into other markets, because this is how the white man has influenced their fabrics on us through music videos, through blockbuster movies.
Sure.
We can make
We'll
it.
get there with time.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
All right. Before we wrap up the show, Russ, any last remarks? Any last remarks to a young designer out there watching?
Russ Kasozi, the founder of CD Show. I love young designers to follow CD Show because basically it's about educating young designers to be expressive, entrepreneur, and also original designers, because our main focus at CD Show is to train these designers how to develop concepts from their own inspiration.
Yes.
Versus the internet copy.
The Pinterest.
Exactly.
Yes. So we try to have the identity. For example, this year it's going to happen from an island, and you're going to go to the locals.
Amazing.
To show them how fun their business is, from the inspiration, production, to marketplace.
Amazing.
Exactly.
So you're shifting Kampala to the islands this time around.
Yeah.
For the Seed Show.
Yeah.
How
Amazing.
can people out there contact you via social media?
Our social media handles are CD Show, Castaway Official, Raskasozi. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So make sure you reach out to him and connect with him, because guys, he is the best. Rama?
I've already said, embrace your own. There's no reason why you should market something from the Western world before you market what's Ugandan or what's African.
All right. Before we get into that last bit of the show, guys, I know you're dying to know my makeup, my hair. Okay, let's go. Hair by Hetana's Beauty Salon. My dress is by a Ugandan designer, Blaze Tony. My shoes by Iconic. And of course, makeup by the one and only Shilat Makeup. Find her on all social media platforms. My skin is by Beauty Uganda, and lip gloss. Now guys, you can catch the repeats every Wednesday, 3:35 p.m. I was your host, Bettina. Until next time, stick to your African roots. We love you. Good night.